Now, the UK's largest police forces have reported a sharp rise in religious hate crime following the outbreak of the Israel-Hamas conflict.
Yes, new figures reveal that there's been an increase in both anti-Semitic and Islamophobic hate crimes across the UK.
Yeah, if you look at Greater Manchester Police, they recorded 74 anti-Semitic offences in the month following the Hamas attack on Israel, compared to just 15, say just 15, that's bad enough, for the same period in 2022.
Well, joining us now live from Golders Green is GB News' national reporter Theo Chikomba. And Theo, I understand you're actually at the scene of the very first anti-Semitic attack after the 7th of October atrocities.
Yes, well, a very good morning to you both. So we were here on the 8th of October. This was following an incident that took place here, a kosher restaurant just over my left shoulder on the left here, and a brick was thrown through it, and it was reported that a cash register was also taken. And then on top of that, I don't know if you're able to just see a bridge just over my left shoulder, and on that bridge there was spray paint which said "Free Palestine." And on that day, the British Transport Police and the Metropolitan Police were in this area, and they both condemned that incident. And on that same day, we did then see the then Home Secretary Suella Braverman in this area on patrol with councillors and leaders in this area. So just a bit of background on Golders Green. There's a large Jewish community who live here, and at that time people were feeling afraid or feeling that they needed a bit more support. Spent the day here speaking to many of those community members who live in this area. But as you say, we've got these figures which have been released today, which show the rise in anti-Semitic crimes, but also against groups who were feeling the pinch at that time when the Hamas and Israel conflict began. But of course, when we look at numbers, they only tell half the story. But when you really speak to people in this community, they are saying we needed more support, and it simply isn't acceptable. And at that time, particularly school children were on holiday at the time, and when they did return a few days later, there were some concerns there, and parents were taking their children out of school. But as you say, there have been increases across the country, particularly here in London. Over 200 incidents were reported to the police, which were much higher than they were in the previous year. But the Metropolitan Police haven't released any figures today, and they're saying there's a delay in that. So we're potentially going to see those figures released in the next couple of weeks.
OK, Theo Chikomba there for us in Golders Green. Thank you very much indeed.
Let's talk to former Detective Chief Inspector Mike Neville, who joins us this morning. Look, I guess, Mike, the reality is, and it's a sad reality, that this was expected.
Yes, it's absolutely tragic, isn't it? I mean, in London, there was a 15-fold increase in anti-Semitic crimes. And I was speaking to a group of Jewish people, middle-aged or elderly, and they just felt so frightened and let down by society. And what's happened as well is that the establishment has tried to portray this as previously as far-right violence and all this sort of thing. And the actual government's commission for countering extremism has said that they're not focusing on the right areas. This is an Islamic problem with the anti-Semitic behaviour. The idea of bald-headed skinheads is a nonsense. And I'd make this point that we always hear the left saying that silence is violence when it comes to racism. Where are these people who demand no racism when Jewish people are attacked and are fearful? All I've heard is silence from those people, and it's simply not good enough.
Mike, hate crimes are on the rise. How do we fix this? Is this about more bobbies on the beat, or is this about harsher sentencing when it comes to hate crimes?
Well, I think, yes, I think there should be harsher sentences. And I think what a lot of the Jewish community have seen is they've seen these marches in central London, which claim to be pro-Palestinian, but really are anti-Jewish, to be honest. And they've seen all sorts of wicked chants. And when people are calling for jihad, which means holy war, we get this nonsense that it means some kind of inner struggle or something like this, which is obviously not true. And it's a real problem of a breakdown in society where we're promised that, multiculturalism will work, but what we see is different fractures in society with completely different values and views. And the facts are that everybody should be safe in our country, whatever religion you follow, and it's simply not good enough. So one is harsher sentences, but we cannot carry on with these fractures in society where different people can have entirely different values from the rest of Britain. It's not good enough.
OK, Mike, good to talk to you. Thank you. I just think it's intolerance is such a negative force because it's with these hate crimes. Why are people hating other people?
Yeah.
You might disagree with them. There might be fundamental issues, but it's not. It's not. If you've got a problem with the Israeli government, it's not. You don't have to go around hating Jewish people.
It's not your neighbour's fault, is it? No.